Security Police.
I'm in charge of this man.
No longer, madam. He is now in the custody of the Ministry of Science.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Planet of the Apes is a 1968 science fiction film directed by Franklin J. Schaffner that would be a box office hit and would spawn a franchise. United States astronauts George Taylor, played by Charlton Heston, Landon, played by Robert Gunnar, and Dodge, played by Jeff Burton, awaken on a spacecraft from deep hibernation sleep during a near-light-speed space voyage. A fourth astronaut, a female named Stewart, is found to be dead after having rapidly aged when her hibernation pod was compromised.
London, get out on that signal! What signal? The word that we landed!
Their spaceship has crashed into a lake on an unknown planet, an estimated 300 light-years from their home solar system. Taylor sees that the ship's chronometer reads November 25th, 3978, some 2,006 years after their 1972 departure.
Well, where are we? Do you have any notions, Skipper?
We're some 320 light years from Earth on an unnamed planet in orbit around a star in the constellation of Orion. Is that close enough for you?
The question is not so much where we are as when we are.
I read the clocks. They bear out Hasline's hypothesis. We have been away from Earth for 2,000 years, give or take a decade. Still can't accept it. Time's wiped out everything you ever knew. It's all dust.
Prove it. If we can't get back, it's still just a theory.
It's a fact, Landon. Buy it. You'll sleep better.
The three surviving men travel through the desolate land, coming across strange scarecrow-type figures. Finding a freshwater lake, the men take a swim, only to have their clothing stolen by primitive humans. Soon after, armed guerrillas raid a field where humans are gathering food. Taylor is shot in the throat, Dodge is killed, and Landon is captured. Taken to Ape City, Taylor is saved by two chimpanzees, animal psychologist Zira, played by Kim Hunter, and surgeon Dr. Galen, played by Wright King.
Will he live?
I don't know. This beast has lost a lot of blood.
This place is dirty, Doctor.
Doctor, these animals are dirty. They stink and they carry communicable diseases. Why aren't they cleaned up before they're brought here?
You don't sound happy in your work.
Unable to speak due to his throat wound, Taylor is placed in a cage with a captive human being woman, whom he names Nova, played by Linda Harrison. Taylor realizes that he is being held captive by an advanced society of talking apes who live in a theocracy and consider human beings to be vermin to be experimented on, enslaved, or killed. Taylor convinces Zyra and her fiancé Cornelius, played by Roddy McDowall, that he is as intelligent as they are by communicating through written messages and by making a paper airplane.
Humans can't write.
Dear, you're a scientist. Don't you believe your own eyes?
Where did you learn to do this? Jefferson Public School. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Back on that planet you say you came from?
Dr. Zayas, the orangutan superior, played by Maurice Evans, arranges for Taylor to be castrated. Taylor escapes, finding the stuffed corpse of Dodge on display in a museum. Soon recaptured, he regains his voice.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
He is then taken before a hearing where the president of the assembly, played by James Whitmore, seems skeptical of Taylor's origins.
Well, Dr. Zira, this is a man, is it not?
He is unlike any man you have ever seen, as we hope to prove.
Answer the question, Dr. Zira. Is it a man?
Sir, perhaps the question is the point at issue. Is he a man? Is he deviant or a freak of nature?
Objection. Sustained now, Dr. Zira. In all fairness, you must admit that the accused is a non-ape and therefore has no rights under ape law.
Then why is he called the accused? Your honors must think him guilty of something.
Can Taylor and Nova free themselves and escape the planet of the apes? Producer Arthur P. Jacobs secured the rights to Pierre Boulle's 1963 book La Planète des Singes before it was published in the English language. Boulle never thought they could make a movie out of it. Rod Serling admitted that he spent well over a year and 30 or 40 drafts trying to translate the novel to the screen. Early scenes in the movie where the spaceship crash lands in the lake were filmed at Lake Powell, which is formed by a dam on the Colorado River on the Utah-Arizona border. John Chambers' outstanding makeup effects pioneered in the film were based on a technique he had used during World War II to give disfigured veterans a normal appearance. Chambers spent many hours watching the apes at the Los Angeles Zoo, studying their facial expressions. Several other productions were delayed because many of Hollywood's top makeup artists were working on this film. All of the ape actors and extras were required to wear their masks even during breaks and in between shots because it took so much time to make them up. Due to this, the meals were liquefied and drank through straws. The actors in ape costumes had to eat their lunch in front of a mirror as to monitor any changes in their makeup. They also had to use straws for their drinks, and the actors who smoked were given cigarette holders. Sean Connery, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, George Peppard, Rod Taylor, Burt Lancaster, Jack Lemmon, James Brolin, Gregory Peck, James Garner, Rock Hudson, Cliff Robertson, Stuart Whitman, and John Wayne were all considered for the role of Taylor. Charlton Heston was always the producer Arthur P. Jacobs' first choice for the part. Marlon Brando was considered as a backup possibility. Charlton Heston was sick during much of the movie with the flu. Rather than wait for him to get better, the producers felt that his hoarse voice added something to the character of Taylor. While Charlton Heston's character is listed in the credits as George Taylor, the name George is never seen or heard in the film. He is referred to only as Taylor. Rock Hudson was considered for the role of Cornelius, although it was eventually decided that he was too big of a star and that Charlton Heston might be overshadowed. It was also decided that the chimpanzees and orangutans should all be played by shorter actors. The role of Cornelius went to Roddy McDowall. Although he is second billed, he does not appear until 43 minutes into the film. Yul Brynner, Jose Ferrer, Edmund O'Brien, Laurence Olivier, Peter Ustinov, and Orson Welles were all considered for Dr. Zaius. The role went to Maurice Evans. Ursula Andress, Raquel Welch, and Angelique Pettyjohn were all considered for the role of Nova. The role ultimately went to actress Linda Harrison. Linda Harrison was dating producer Richard Zanuck at the time of production. In the year of the film's release, they got married. This is one of only 2 G-rated movies to feature some kind of nudity, the other being the 1966 movie The Bible in the Beginning. The iconic line, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape," was originally written as, "Stand back, you bloody ape." Based on the culture and technology exhibited in the film, the level of development in the ape society seems to be around the early Renaissance in Europe. The twist ending, featuring the Statue of Liberty, was introduced in Rod Serling's later script revisions, although he has also shared credit with that idea with Arthur P. Jacobs, the producer. Serling may have been inspired by the Twilight Zone episode I Shot an Arrow into the Air, which aired on January 15, 1960, in which an astronaut believes that he is on an asteroid, but discovers telephone poles and a sign reading Reno 97 miles, and realizes he has been on Earth all along. When Cornelius is showing Taylor the map of the Forbidden Zone, when you compare it to a current map of the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, it's quite obvious that the map of the Forbidden Zone is that same area. Given that Taylor and Nova travel for several days along the coastline, with the ocean on their right, before discovering the remains of the Statue of Liberty, it's likely that Ape City is actually in New Jersey. Filming lasted from May 22nd to early August 1967. This was one of the first movies to have a major large-scale merchandise tie-in. Merchandise related to the film included toys, collectibles, action figures, pictures, storybooks, comic books, records, and a series of graphic novels from Marvel Comics. Released the day before the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the film grossed $33.3 million on a budget of $5.8 million, which made it a large box office hit and among the highest-grossing films of 1968. The film's world television premiere broadcast occurred on CBS Friday night, September 14, 1973. This being the longest film in the series at 112 minutes, resulted in a 2.5-hour premiere. This left approximately 15 minutes of extra time, which was rounded out with a special behind-the-scenes documentary about the movie showing the process of applying ape makeup. In 2001, Planet of the Apes was added to the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant to the United States. I saw this movie when I was younger, maybe a teenager, and I've watched it on and off since then. It's not one that is my favorite movie, and I'm not really a science fiction guy, but it's entertaining. I always like Charlton Heston. Linda Harrison looks great. The actors and actresses from Roddy McDowall to James Whitmore do a fantastic job, and I can see the appeal, but I never really got into the whole franchise or any of the remakes. I think a movie like this kind of fit the strange times of the late 1960s. I'm going to go ahead and give this 8 stars because I feel it's a very iconic movie, but I normally personally would give it maybe a 7. So I'll kind of cut in between. I'll give this an 8-star rating. If you are into 1960s science fiction movies, you got to check out Planet of the Apes.